Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelly and I have recently fallen in love with LA Girl eyeshadow palettes, which seems so strange to me because I never tried them, and then I think probably in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 months I've collected all the ones that I can get my hands on. Maybe not all of them because I don't love the pans that have like the super narrow thin pans in the palettes. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about or not. Anyway, I found 2 palettes that I had not picked up and I ordered them from Ulta. These are the 2. One of them is very sparkly and dark and one of them is very sparkly and pink. So anyway, I was looking at these and I'm like, I really want to do a look with them, but I think that the sparkly and dark one is too rich for what I want to do. I think this makes much more of a appropriate nighttime look, and I'm not quite there yet in my day. Maybe later on I'll come back and do one, but for now, this is the one I wanted to play with, and that's what the palette looks like. We're gonna go ahead and uncover this for the very first time. Now, hold on. Is that any better? I'll try the ASMR thing. Okay, but this is the palette, and it's really pretty and really soft, and this feels like a good palette to play with today. So that's what we're gonna do. The first time I heard about this palette actually was in one of Tati's videos. She did this, she used this palette, she gushed over how great it was. All right, apparently I'm trying this now. So I guess the question is do I wanna do something more cool? I think I kinda wanna, I love these shimmery raspberry tones in here. It seems like we're kind of light matte heavy, right? We've got that one are your lightest shades. Do we need 2 of them? I know. And then that one and that one and that one are all very similar, just a slight change in tone. Did we need all those? I don't know. And then the matte browns, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's a little bit more of a red brown. This one's a little bit more of a, cool tone brown. So, and then you've got, these raspberry shades, and they're very similar. The champagne-y shades are very similar. Got a super dark black color and this darker taupe color. Which direction I want to go in. I thought originally I wanted to do something pink, and now I'm like, I kind of like the cooler tones, but you know what? Let's just go into it. I'm going to take the shade Charm, which is this one right here. And I do have a little bit of a Take Me With You eyelid primer on. I filmed something earlier today and it was so dark. Wow, this shade barely shows up, huh? It was so dark and almost muddy, and I was like, I need to lighten up the situation here. It's a good chance I'm going to be outside in actual daylight, and I don't need to look like I've got bruised eyelids. It's kind of funny, it's good to play, but sometimes you go, okay, that's coming off. As long as you've got the time, you're not trying to race out the door. My contacts are a little cloudy right now, so I'm not seeing... Sometimes when I blink, I can actually get them to clear a little bit. I need to actually take them out and clean them. That first shade barely shows up. Let's grab Bashful over here. So I think what I kind of wanted to decide with this is, because I've liked the larger, really big panned palettes from LA Girl, I wanted to see if this other palette, if I would love them as much. These seem slightly easier to travel with, the size. And this actually feels like I could probably get some really good work looks from it. Very simple, and then maybe doctored up just a little bit for after work if I needed to, or like travel days or whatever. Again, if you're wearing a mask the whole time, do you really need to go too over? I've got like glitter right here. Do you really need to go overboard with the eyeshadow? I think this is really pretty. That does not bode well if I'm already getting glitter fallout, like the flecks from the actual package on my skin. That means that it might get into my suitcase or, travel transfer when I'm trying to actually pack and unpack. Those blended actually very well. I took a little bit of extra time blending them, but I think it looks okay. I'm gonna go into one of these brighter light pink color, it's almost like a light peach color, slightly chalky maybe. This is just a different color story than some of the other ones, the larger palettes. Do you guys know which palettes I'm talking about? Let me grab one, I'll show you. Like these larger palettes right here. This one's the Hey Hey Vacay in Good Times and Tan Lines. And that's what that looks like. Vibrant, pretty colors. You guys don't need to see the whole collection, but I do have a whole collection of those larger format eyeshadow palettes. This one's just a little bit of a different size. And I thought, wow, I really like the big ones. Let's try this. Let's go back in that same color. I think that color's called Bliss. I know, you guys, I'm just not doing a super sophisticated look. This is gonna be actually simple and easy. But the thought was, does this give me the same feel good about the palette and the quality as I would get with the other ones? And so far, yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty easy to use. I don't feel like there's anything weird going on here. Okay, I think I'm gonna grab this mid-tone brown down here called Family. It's called Fam ILY. I'm guessing that means Fam I love you, Family I love you. Contour the eye a little bit. This is a warmer brown, and I was very tempted to go into cool tone brown. Okay, still subtle. I'm not getting a huge amount of patchiness, but I'm also not getting super saturation with this shade. Let's grab a flat brush here. I'm going to take this lightest kind of raspberry shade just on a flat brush, and let's take it all over the lid. Oh yeah, pretty. It's like a rose gold shade, and I'm just taking it over the top of that brown that I had on the outside. And this is the same brush I used with that brown shade too. Picking up more of it on this side. Yeah, super pretty. I can honestly tell you I am enjoying these palettes. The patchiness here on the outside of my eye is 100% my leaky eyeball and not the quality of the shadow, in my opinion, because this side looks so much better. I think that they would be exactly the same if I was having a problem with the eyeshadow itself, and the eyeshadow doesn't seem to be getting a problem. Okay, I'm gonna go into the, I need to grab this dark black here called Sultry. And that's what I'm going to use just to kind of darken up my lash line a little bit. Sometimes with these dark pigments, I get a lot of fallout and transfer. And this, I'm just kind of packing lash line a little bit. I love using eyeshadow as eyeliner because it's less severe than a liquid or a gel. I'm usually pretty pleased. This is my leaky eye over here. I did not dampen the brush at all. I'm trying to get a lash line. Yeah, I think that works. I feel like I maybe need a lighter shade down there too. You know what? I'm not going to. I'm going to grab, this is the flat brush that I used initially, and I'm going to grab one of these other neutral, kind of taupey, neutral creamy colors. This one's called Nice. Lighten up. I feel like I've gotten a little dark and crepey under my eyes. I need to clean that up and lighten it up, and I'll be right back. Okay, back with some mascara, cleaned up a little bit, and this is a lovely palette. This actually is really, really pretty. This is called LA Girl 18 color eyeshadow palette, Holla Slay, Holi-Slay. And this is your, you know, rose, gold, burgundies, raspberries, taupey, champagne-y, brown. Absolutely appropriate every day. I like the look that I came up with today is a little on the softer side. Soft and pretty and pink, and I'm fine with it without being too like bubblegum pink. It's completely appropriate, I think, for a lady of a certain age. This other one is called, is this also a Holi-Slay? No, this is Holi-Daze. Holi-Slay and Holi-Daze. And this has some beautiful jewel tones. I haven't even taken the cover off of it yet. I'll come back and do a date nights palette if you guys are interested. Hi guys, I'm back, and I wanted to come into this LA Girl what is this one? Holi-Daze. I have a friend named Holly. I love her. I need to see her more often. This is the palette, and this is significantly darker than the Holi-Slay palette earlier in this video, which for me was a few days ago. And I wanted to do like a date night look, so not much of the ASMR stuff still. So let's put some of this stuff on and see if we can't come up with kind of a, I don't know, an appropriate, probably smoky rich jewel toned, because that's what we're getting here, smoky rich jewel toned. And you guys, I am so impressed with the LA Girl formula. I'm going to start with this shade right here. Kind of a little bit of a, well, it's a brown matte. I do have a little of the Beauty Bay eyelid primer on my lids right now, which is probably different than what I used earlier, if I used any eye at all. So you guys doing anything for date night? You guys going out? My husband has been scheduling a number of gigs with his new band. Now, he is like a business owner. He doesn't have a real job, but this is just something he got into. I mean, he's always been playing music, but he got into it, well, last year. one of his best friends, really honestly his best friend of like 30 some years, who passed last fall from COVID. I can say that without crying now. That's a huge step for me. They had a bass player in their band that had gotten into an accident and wasn't able to play. So they'd called him up and said, hey, can you play bass? And my husband was like, haven't played bass in 30 years. Give me a minute. And within a month or two, he started performing with them. He's actually very, very talented when it comes to that. What do I want to do as far as the jewel tone shades here? I might have to use a couple of them, huh? I'm gonna take, I want this cool toned one right here. Some of these brown shades are very similar. It's like, do we get too many of the same browns? Anyway, he started playing with this band and he loved it so much And a lot of the guys actually are in several different groups. They'll like, you know, spring off and do a duo, or, you know, some of the guys won't be available, so they'll modify kind of their format. And my husband had so much fun doing it. It's good for him to have a hobby or a project. So I've been fully supportive of doing this. And they practice, gosh, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. And originally it was like, okay, well, they'll try to do a gig like once a month, and now they're becoming a little bit more popular. And even though it's not even like kind of music season for us where we live is usually when there's no snow on the ground. You know, then you can start getting, you know, outside venues, more like brew pubs or wineries that have outside space for music, and they can accommodate more people. But there's snow on the ground right now, and they're fully booking a calendar. So it's kind of fun. It just means that that's more stuff I have to do to help them to be part of that, because I'm doing a lot of their marketing. Okay, so we're doing date night. There's this shade in here. Okay, wait, hold on. That's really pretty too. I'm having a hard time. Like, normally for like a regular daytime look, I would go with this bronze shade. This one is super beautiful, but I also like that gray color. Oh, that's pretty, and that's pretty. What am I doing? I need to do the gray. I think I just decided as it's swatching it. I'm gonna put this all over my lid. That is like a gunmetal pewter gray. Wow. And it feels so creamy and easy to apply. I might be becoming obsessed with LA Girl eyeshadows, you guys. Talk about a formula, a price point that is just easy for the non-makeup artist set. Maybe this is a little bit more creative in color story, but for the price, and I think I might have even gotten this on sale for like 11 bucks or something. For the price, man, I'm thrilled. Now, I haven't tried J-Cat Beauty. I've been meaning to. There was a palette that I kind of wanted, and then I thought, okay, well, this looks a little bit too much like this one, so I ended up not getting it. You guys let me know if J-Cat Beauty is worth getting. They're not expensive at all. Sometimes you get what you pay for, and I know some YouTubers just absolutely adore them, and so I kind of want to try them, but I also don't know that I'll use the palette all that much. This one I actually feel like I will. I'm gonna actually go into this shimmer down here, the darkest one, with a brush this time as opposed to my fingers, because I want to see how it performs. Very little kick up. Press that on. Okay, so here's an interesting observation. When you use your finger, I feel it's definitely more metallic-y, and a brush, it's almost a little bit more satiny. You guys know what I'm talking about? Of course you do. That is super pretty. I do have fallout, so note to self, maybe do the eyes before. It's not necessarily a deal breaker for me unless, you know, I'm in a hurry, because I'm usually pretty good at just sort of patching the eyeshadows and getting them, but I also feel like I'm getting fallout on this because I'm using a brush as opposed to using my finger. I kind of have to make sure that I'm, you know, looking in the right place here. I didn't use the jewel tones. I did the grays, right? But I have an idea. I'm actually really liking the eyeshadow. Wow, you guys, cannot believe how good this stuff is. Just gonna kind of buff those browns into those grays. Not upset. So the interesting thing is my husband's band, their little format is a little bit more on the classic rock. Not a 70s classic rock. So not even like 70s disco, although they probably could pull that off pretty well. They're having so much fun. I'm trying to get some of that fallout cleaned up here a little bit. They're throwing in a few other genres and time periods, but for the most part, I think AC/DC, Kiss, Metallica, Def Leppard, Dire Straits, Elton John, Tom Petty. So it's kind of a fun, you know, it's a fun group. I am really enjoying the music they're putting together, and they're having so much fun. For being a bunch of, well, I mean, a couple middle-aged guys and one that's a little bit on the younger side, it's like they've found their tribe. Which one of these jewel tones do I want to use? I've got this blue, it's almost like a cobalt blue. I've got like this rich purple. I've got a green. I think I'm gonna do the blue. We're gonna tap a little of this on up here along the lash line, and then I'm gonna bring it down here too. So that blue is gorgeous. I love that. And I just kind of smudged it into my lash line too a little bit. So we're all over the place here. And I need to kind of soften it up a little bit. Do I want to keep going with that? No. I'm gonna take a little bit of this darker cool toned here, which is far too dark, but I'm hoping I can just take a little tiny bit of it to sort of soften it up. Yeah, that actually worked out pretty darn well. These LA Girl palettes are really just such a pleasure to work with. So good. I don't really have a true inner corner highlight, but I'm gonna grab this lightest color here because that to me is too light for me to use as an eyeshadow, but it's a pretty good, I almost call it like a lightening contour, but it covers up some of that discoloration from my old AFIs. Yeah, pretty. Okay, and I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup with that same shade here too. I feel like when you don't do a shimmer up there underneath that brow bone, you really do get kind of a more natural lifting look, and it's not so jarring and shocking. So we've got a smoky date night kind of eye. I'm gonna put some, let's put some eyeliner on and some mascara. I'll be right back. All right, you guys, perfectly appropriate rock star wife date night look using the Holi-Daze palette, sparkly date night palette, darker, richer, jewel toned, beautiful deliciousness palette from LA Girl, to go along with my Holi-Slay palette, which was a fantastic daytime, everyday, wearable. Okay, do you need both of them? Do you need one for day and one for night? You don't. If I were going to choose one and you are of the lighter complexion, right? You're more on the fair, light, maybe even light medium, and you're a lady of a certain age, I would say do this because you have this black shade that can really smoke out and deepen up and richen and go over the top of another shade to really take you into date night. I think this gives you all the things that you need without stepping out of a comfort zone at all. That's going to be probably my favorite palette. If you are one of my deeper, richer, gorgeous, late chocolatey, all the various shades of sisters out there, I would say that this might be a better palette for you, unless you're somebody who loves color or the only time you wear makeup is maybe for date night. This one, I probably can get some daytime work looks. If I go all the way to these neutral browns over here, I've got daytime work looks. But the majority of it is not a daytime work look. If I keep it to these out here with the occasional pop of one of these jewel tones, okay, you know, an eyeliner or whatever else, I would say out of the two of these, this one's going to be more my favorite every day, but boy, this is sure fun. I am not disappointed I bought both of these. I couldn't decide. I just ranked them for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Me doing two different looks with two different palettes. You know, that was kind of a weird thing for me to do. If you want me to come back and do more looks with either of these palettes, please leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out. If it is your time to go and I don't see you again, well, that's okay too. I wish you nothing but love and happiness, and be blessed on your journey. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye for now.